Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the continue keyword. In the previous lecture, we learned about the break keyword. So in certain situations, when a condition is met, we just tell the program, stop the execution, break the program and get out of the, for example, a loop. So here we are going to use continue keyword. In this case, there are some cases that when certain conditions are met within the blocks of code, we tell the program if this condition has met, continue. So just escape this part. Don't execute, don't do anything. If this happened, just escape. Okay. So let me illustrate this with an example. We would like to print all the odd numbers between 1 and 10. To do that, we simply write a for loop that starts from 1, and as long as I is lower than or equal 10, and I is going to increase 1 by 1. Then when we have this condition, because we would like to, when we have this for loop, when we would like to have the odd numbers printed only, we define a condition. So we define a condition saying that if I, this number, is divided by 2 and its remainder, because we are using modular sign, its remainder equals 0, it means that the number is even. And in this case, just continue. Don't print anything. And if this situation is not the case, then print the I for us. So let me give you an example. So initially, I starts from 1, I equals 1, and 1, when it is divided by 2, its remainder, is it equal to 0 or not? It's not equal to 0. Therefore, it's an odd number. When it's an odd number and it's not equal to 0, it is going to print the I value, which is 1 here, and then print 1 space here. And then it goes up, I equals 2 now. And when I equals 2, it says, okay, 2 divided by 2, its remainder equals 0 or not? Yes, in this case, it is true. Then continue. Just escape this part. Don't do anything. It will go up again. So it will increase the value of I by another one value. So I is now 3. 3 divided by 2, its remainder, is it equal to 0 or not? It is not equal to 0. Then this condition is not passed. So this part is escaped, and it's going to print the I here, which is number 3, and then 1 space. Next one, I equals 4, because this loop is going to continue until I equals 10. So I equals 4 enters the loop. 4 divided by 2, its remainder, is it equal to 0? Yes, it's going to enter this condition then it's going to continue, just escape, like nothing happened. Go back up again and increase the value of I by another one value, and then in the next run, I equals 5. Okay, so let me run the code. Okay, great. So we are printing odd numbers between 1 and 10. It is printing odd numbers between 1 and 10. Then there is a for loop here, and then it is having this condition: if there are even numbers, don't print them, just escape. So just continue like nothing happened. However, when the numbers are odd, because if numbers remainder, when the numbers are divided by 2, their remainder does not equal 0, it means that they are odd numbers. In this case, just print them. So all the odd numbers between 1 and 10 are printed here. So this is basically how we are going to use continue keyword. It's a very useful keyword, and it's a very easy example of how we can use them. There are different ways to execute this program and implement this program. For example, we could write simply, instead of writing this condition here, that to detect the even numbers, we could say if the number is divided by 2 and its remainder is not equal to 0, then here simply print I. Okay, we could also have that cout I, oops, sorry, cout I and L. Okay, we could do that. This we could also do. So when you would like to implement a program, there are different ways to do that. It's up to you how to do your coding, but usually we try to code in a way that is efficient and that we program in a way that we increase the program readability. So if the code is passed to the next developer, they can also easily understand what you were doing during your code. So there are different ways to do one task. Here we could simply use continue keyword and do what we wanted to do. Thank you for watching. Try to practice this coding exercise. We're going to use continue and break keywords later on this course. Thank you. Hello everyone. Welcome to this lecture. In today's lecture, we are going to talk about a reserved keyword for C++ that is called break. So basically, when we would like to exit the loop in certain conditions, we're going to use this keyword. Or when a certain condition is met by the program, we just want to tell the program if this condition is met, okay, stop the execution and just exit the program. So in these cases, we are going to use this break keyword. Here I have an example to illustrate the usage of the break keyword. So we would like to write a program that gets input numbers from the user, and this getting input numbers from the user is going to continue until the user enters -1. When the user enters the number -1, we are going to break the program. It means that the program is going to continuously ask the user enter a number, enter a number, enter a number, and the user is going to continuously enter different numbers. However, when the user enters -1, it is a sign for us based on this program. It is a sign for us that, okay, the condition is met. Let's exit the program. Let's stop the execution. Therefore, we use the break keyword. Let me illustrate it with an example. So here we are initializing an integer. We are declaring it. And then we are telling the user enter numbers and type -1 in case you would like to stop. And then we are writing an infinite loop here, which is using while loop and the condition is true. So as long as the condition is true, it is going to repeat this while loop. And in the while loop, we are going to store the number that is given by the user. And if the entered number by the user equals -1, break the program. We use the break. So exit the loop if -1 is entered. And if not, if any other number is entered, just print out the number that entered by the user. And when we are out of the while loop, please just print loop ended. Let me run the code and we see the details. Okay, enter numbers. So I ran the program. We are now here. It is executing enter numbers, type -1 to stop. Exactly this line. Okay, I would say 20. It says you entered 20. And again, it is waiting for me to write another number. I would say again 20. It says you entered 20. I would say 12. It says you entered 12. 15, 17, 18, 22. Whatever you put here, it is going to continuously ask from you that give me a number unless I type -1. So when I type -1, it says loop ended. Why? Because when I type number one is stored using this line, and it checks to see if the entered number equals -1 or not. In this case, it is equal, then it's going to break. When it breaks, we get out of this loop and it is going to print loop ended. So this is how we use the break keyword in C++, and generally it is very useful in different programs that we are going to practice in the future. Whenever a certain condition is met, okay, get out of the loop, get out of this if else condition. It is very useful for us. So it is good to start using it whenever it is possible, so you get used to its usage and you get comfortable with the syntax and the way to use the break function and to see if you're doing everything correctly or not. Therefore, please practice this exercise yourself as well and try to write this program several times so you can exactly remember when and how you need to use the break keyword. Thank you for watching. Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to review the usage of the continue keyword, and we are going to learn about the go-to keyword. So we would like to write a program that asks a user for a positive number. If the user enters -1, we would like to terminate the program, and if the user enters any negative number, we would like to let the user know that negative numbers are not allowed and let the user continue entering the number. So this program is going to continue until the user enters -1. To do that, we declare an integer variable. Then we show the user saying that enter a positive number and -1 to terminate the program. So we are going to define a while loop, which is an infinite one in this case here, because the condition is true. And then as long as the user is not entering -1, this while loop is going to repeat, because it is an infinite while loop. Why? Because within the parentheses, the condition is true. So we read the number from the user. We check if the number equals -1 or not. If the number equals -1, it is going to use the go-to keyword and it is going to jump to end. Where is end? End is here. Okay, so it is going to escape all these parts and it's going to jump here and print program terminated. So this is how the go-to keyword will work. And in case the num is lower than 0, it is going to print out numbers, negative numbers are not allowed, and then continue. When it continues, it means that do nothing, escape, and since there is an infinite while loop, it is going back up again, and let the user choose another number and then check if it's -1 or not, etc. So let me just run the code. I would say 20. It says you enter 20, 15, 17, 18, whatever, 20, -20. When I say -20, it says numbers are not allowed, exactly like here. And then I am allowed to write another number like 21. Okay, this is going to continue until the end of the word unless I enter -1. When I enter -1, program terminated. So when I enter -1, it is going to jump to the end and then write it here. We could also use the break function here. We could simply mention if this happened, break the program. Usually when we are having different situations, we are going to use different keywords. In this case, we wanted to practice goto, but as we mentioned earlier, there are different ways to execute one program. It depends on your taste, what you would like to do with your code, how efficient and readable your code you think you might be by using one keyword or another. So it depends on you, but this was a review of the continue keyword and also the usage. of the go-to keyword. So please go ahead and practice. And while you're doing different coding practices throughout this course, think about the places that you may be able to use break keyword, continue keyword, or go-to keyword. They are very useful. Try to practice them. So basically, when you practice, you will get used to using them where necessary. Thank you for watching.